The music and the performance and the fashion are one. I don't separate my art from my life. It is one whole thing.
Hi, Tom.
Hey, Patrick.
I'm Patrick.
And I'm Tom, and this is Chewing on Pearls, of course. The show where we dissect and decipher Lady Gaga's chameleonic career and its impact one pearl at a time.
So we're back.
We're so back.
We're so
and it's
back.
a big day. It's a big day for us.
It's a huge day in celebration of 15 years of the album dense with fantastical imagery. We are breaking down the visual treatment of each single from Born This Way.
Yeah. Our first kind of series, honestly.
Yeah. A fun little deep dive into the album that Gaga has gone on the record saying is the most important of her life. And I think it's fair to say, same. Yeah.
She gets it. I think what's funny is even like within fan discourse, people are like, Mayhem's my favorite now, or The Fame Monster is my favorite, or Art Pop is my favorite. But unanimously, people are like, but this is her magnum opus, regardless of my personal taste. This is like Bible.
It's like undeniable. And it's like, so, I mean, this is a whole separate conversation. Classic us. It's like, before we even get into the video, I'm like, tangent. She has gone on the record being like, this album, like at the time when it came out, this album isn't for now, it's for the future.
Right.
And she was so correct. Like in 2026, people love Born This Way more now than they did in 2011.
Yeah. And it's so fun that is true, because we also know that Gaga has spoken about, back in the day, she was speaking about making Born This Way and tapping into a younger version of herself that was going through tapping into experiences from high school and tapping into the musical influences that are way earlier than her, or that she was just discovering when she was in high school and stuff. So at the same time, it's the retrofuturism of it all. And I think that we've talked about Gaga having a foot in the reference and having a foot in the future. And I think Born This Way perfectly encapsulates that.
Totally. So, we're going to kick off this series breaking down the music video for the lead single from the album Born This Way, the track Born This Way.
Great name.
Love that name. Love it. So, Born This Way, the music video, stars Lady Gaga and is directed by Nick Knight. Choreography and creative direction by Laurieann Gibson.
Cricket.
Pause. Yeah, pause for dramatic effect. Nicola Formichetti, assisted by Anna Trevlin, Brandon Maxwell, and Tom Arabut. Talk about Dream Team.
They're
it's
still
like
the best.
That is family right there. Hairstyling by Sam McKnight, assisted by Koji, but wigs by Frederick Aspiris.
Of
course. He said, here, play with my wigs. Beauty, Billy B, assisted by Tara Savello.
Yeah.
Again.
Billy B is like Sarah Tano's grandfather for that reason.
Yes.
Because it's, the lineage continues.
Again, family. Director of photography, Edu Garu. Co-stars, Rick Janest, a.k.a. Zombie Boy, and models, Raquel Zimmerman, Jean-Wall Mackenzie, Kinney Doof, Mari Malek, and then some single name divas, Tristan, Leomi, Flaviana.
Diva.
.org. And the runtime for the video is 7 minutes and 20 seconds. It was filmed from January 22nd to the 24th of 2011, and it was released on February 28th, 2011. The single itself was the fastest-selling single in the history of iTunes at the time, and it was the 20th song in the history of the Billboard charts to debut at number one, which is kind of crazy if you think about it.
Right.
Songs make it on the charts, but they don't debut at number one often. And at the time, she was the 20th to ever do that in the history of the charts. And then it went number 1 in 23 worldwide iTunes stores, which when outlining this, I was like, oh yeah, that was kind of the thing. This was like the pre-streaming era. So it was like, if you went number 1 on iTunes, that was like, oh my God, you, this is it. Like, you're the biggest song in the world.
I also think this was a time when in the pop music space, music video releases were kind of like bridging the gap between the old guard of pop and what we have now, which is when a single drops the videos with it. This video came out 2 weeks after Gaga released the song, after she debuted it in a live performance at the Grammys. So there was this kind of teaser of what the visual treatment would be when she did the live performance at the Grammys, in the latex and the alien prosthetics and such.
Right. And I think the video was actually supposed to come out earlier than it did. Like, I think it,
so.
like, yeah, like she was like, it's going to be out this day. And then they were like, wait, we need a couple more days. And then they dropped it.
That was kind of the Born This Way era when it came to videos. She was like,
hey,
click,
it's
send.
ready. And then it's like, actually, never mind. Let me take another pass at it. Yeah. So the song itself, the song was the first song written and recorded for the album Born This Way. And it's the title track and lead single. It was written in Liverpool and finished in Manchester while on the Monster Ball World Tour in 2010. Gaga told Vogue, I wrote it in 10 fucking minutes, and it is completely a magical message song. And after I wrote it, the gates just opened, and the songs kept coming. It was like an immaculate conception. When I started writing it, it was meant to be a song about revolution and freedom and lack of prejudice. And when I started to create the visuals for it, I thought so much about my fans, and in so many ways, it is the monsters that created the imagery.
You're welcome.
Yeah, thanks for paying attention.
Yeah. Gaga went on to tell Billboard, I want to write my This Is Who the Fuck I Am anthem, but I don't want it to be hidden in poetic wizardry and metaphors. I want it to be an attack, an assault on the issue, because I think, especially in today's music, everything gets kind of washy sometimes, and the message gets hidden in the lyrical play. Harkening back to the early 90s, when Madonna and Vogue, Whitney Houston, and TLC were making very empowering music for women in the gay community and all kinds of disenfranchised communities, the lyrics and the melodies were very poignant and very gospel and very spiritual. And I said, that's the kind of record I need to make. That's the record that's going to shake up the industry. It's not about the track. It's not about the production. It's about the song. Anyone could sing Born This Way. It could have been anyone.
Wow.
Yeah, I think... Well, also, I'm going to get a little shady. It's interesting to me that Gaga wasn't talking about Carl Bean at this time.
Right.
I think it was years later that she kind of revealed that Jeppe Larsen was that iconic gospel track to her and was like, this is something that speaks to me about you and you need to hear it. And it really like shifted things for her in terms of making this song. And I think that's amazing and important. But she wasn't really talking about it at the time, but still talking about these other artists and then also saying that it could have been anyone who made it is really powerful when we think about Gaga as a vessel. And that's like a huge part of the Born This Way imagery.
Right. And I feel like that is a message that she was trying to convey from the jump. She's giving these interviews at the time that Born This Way is being released. But even at the time, people were like, who does she think she is to represent XYZ or talk about XYZ? And it's like she is literally saying on the record, it could have been anyone. Like, this is just something that needs to be said. And I'm going to be the one to say it. But it's actually not about me.
Whoa. And like, just talking about the song still, the kind of trend that created in popular music, probably between this moment and like 2014-ish.
Between Born This Way and Roar.
Yeah. There were, Roar closed the chapter.
Yes,
of, like,
closed the chapter
anthems.
that Born This Way is started, yeah.
Yes. But it's interesting, and I love that Gaga, it's fun to read these old quotes and remember that Gaga was citing her references, and at the time, people were not taking it seriously and instead trying to make headlines out of it. Lady Gaga thinks she's Madonna, thinks she's Whitney Houston. It's like, no, she just knows their music and is like inspired by them. Yeah.
It's like people were paying attention to her, but actually not listening to her at all.
Totally. So sad. I guess we can go on to say that when Gaga accepted her Best Pop Vocal Album Grammy after debuting Born This Way, but she was accepting the Grammy for The Fame Monster, she said that she pictured Whitney writing and performing the song because she wasn't secure enough in herself to picture herself singing it. And I think that, again, speaks to the vessel of it all.
Totally. So, should we get into the video?
Let's get into the video. Video phone. Right. Your next Gaga tattoo.
Literally, just hubba
across
hubba.
the chest. Yeah.
100%. Wait, how many is knuckle tats? HUBBA. Bitch.
Yeah.
Hubba Yeah, okay. File for later. Yeah.
Actually, you could just get video phone. Your left hand just says phone.
Wait, our matching bestie tattoos could be hubba hubba.
Hubba, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Yes.
So back to the video. So the visual treatment is inspired by the surrealist paintings of Francis Bacon and Salvador Dali. And what's interesting enough is Sam McKnight, who did the hairstyling, met Gaga for her like a British Vogue shoot, whatever. She was like featured in the mag. And he was like, you have to meet Nick Knight. And he connected Gaga with Nick Knight, which created one of the most bountiful relationships between like photographer, image maker, and muse for the past like 20 years. Gaga X McKnight, or yeah. What am I trying to say?
Nick Knight.
X Nick Knight. X Sam McKnight. Yeah. Too many nights. Too many nights in the kingdom. Yes. Gaga X Nick Knight. Some of the best imagery. Like, period.
Of all time.
Full stop.
Of all time. And defines the Born This Way era, because the first image that we saw to kick this era off was Gaga in the Born This Way jacket with her ass out, shot by Nick Knight. That was the first image before we saw the motorcycle cover or any of that. Yeah.
Yeah. So the video itself is a fantastical psychedelic birth space opera.
Yeah,
as it should be. And I guess we'll kind of outline some of the main schemes and kind of visuals that we're presented with. This being said, shout out to Gagapedia and La Maison, as always, for the tips, the facts, the info. And you can definitely like pull up the video and watch it. Like, we're not going to give you like a beat by beat breakdown, but we're going to talk about the imagery. We're going to talk about like the critical and fan response, and then kind of give our personal anecdotes and takeaways and kind of the lasting legacy of this iconic video from the Born This Way era.
Yeah. And you know what I just realized is we're celebrating 15 years of the album in May. Save the date, we're having a party. But we just had the 15-year anniversary of this track, or this video, because that was on the 28th of March February when we recorded our last episode.
Yeah.
Amazing.
All right. So the video begins with the manifesto of Mother Monster. So Gaga does the narration of the speech while a Vertigo prelude and Rooftop by Bernard Herrmann plays, which is the score from Alfred Hitchcock's 1958 film Vertigo.
And we know Gaga is a Hitchcock fan.
She's a Hitchcock girl. She's a Hitchcock blonde. So I will now recite to you the manifesto. This is the manifesto of Mother Monster. On Goat, a government-owned alien territory in space, a birth of magnificent and magical proportions took place. But the birth was not finite. It was infinite. As the wombs numbered and the mitosis of the future began, It was perceived that this infamous moment in life is not temporal, it is eternal, and thus began the beginning of the new race, a race within the race of humanity, a race which bears no prejudice, no judgment, but boundless freedom. But on that same day, as the Eternal Mother hovered in the multiverse, another more terrifying birth took place, the birth of evil. And as she herself split into two, rotating in agony between two ultimate forces, the pendulum of choice began its dance. It seems easy, you imagine, to gravitate instantly and unwaveringly towards good. But, she wondered, how can I protect something so perfect without evil?
Chills.
Yeah. My initial response is like, this is not the art of personal chaos.
Right. Yeah. It's not. It's not what is the interlude from the Chromatica Ball?
The sonnet for Nick Knight. Yeah.
Yes, the sonnet.
Yeah.
It's And we've covered, go back because we've covered the manifesto of Little Monsters in an episode.
Yes. And this is part 2 in the trilogy of manifestos.
Totally. And I just love, even like reading it, not just hearing it, but reading it, I'm like, wow, this is really good.
Yeah.
And also like completely like camp.
Yeah.
In its own way. But I really love the way that she, in this video, this is just a nuanced thing that I love. And I think this plays in my head sometimes. The way she says the line, the pendulum of choice began its dance.
Yeah.
Because there's an element of like evil in her voice when she says that I think is like, okay, Oscar, future Oscar nominee.
Totally. Well, let's talk about like the visuals that are accompanying this. So the video opens with the iconic pink triangle. She is an infamous diva, a marker of the other, the homosexual, the depraved, reclaimed as a symbol of defiance and power. In this triangle emerges a unicorn, of course, and then into that triangle drops another triangle that features a replica, like a wax replica of Gaga's face that's actually on the back of her head.
Mm-hmm.
And the camera moves, her head moves back, and she's in these like stirrups in the sky, and it's giving like creation myth, like dual-faced deity birthing a race. And she's in this like crazy bouffant wig that has a cross on it. It's a blonde wig with a black cross. There are necklaces in her hair. She's got her Alexis Buttar statement jewelry on. She's chained. She's like chained to this iridescent gurney situation, and she has
like
a fucking
throne. Yeah.
Yes, and she has a third eye on her chin. Not on her forehead, but on her chin, pointing down to the birth. And the stars form a womb and uterus. And, there's this kind of kaleidoscopic imagery that's like gooey and visceral. Raquel Zimmerman is there. She's up in the gig. Butterflies are coming out. It's this kaleidoscopic kind of otherworldly, psychedelic, disturbing, yet beautiful.
Yeah.
Like, layered.
Yeah.
Creation myth.
Yeah, and I love that, jumping ahead for a second, we get Gaga in the world of the New Testament in the second single, and here we're getting Gaga's own Old Testament, her creation story. That isn't necessarily at all rooted in that tradition that we see kind of come through from her upbringing in Judas. And instead, this look kind of refers to, I think, many traditions of understanding what a deity is and looks like, because the hair kind of feels papal. She has a third eye, though. And then there's also this kind of like, I don't know, this androgyny about her as well.
Totally.
Yeah. I think also that kaleidoscopic effect where they edit it so it's mirrored down the center, and her legs are spread in the stirrups, and there's the gooey kind of between me down there stuff happening, and Gaga's face is perfectly mirrored. There's something very reminds me of like a diptych in a church or in a temple of some sort.
Right.
Where the proportions are like slightly weird and off because of it's being painted on a wall or on a curved surface or something like that. Yeah.
Well, and the church of it all, she's in like a stained glass getup. It's like part stained glass window, part monarch butterfly.
Totally.
Full faggotry.
Yes. I have a little brief anecdote about this little piece of the story.
Share.
After Gaga did Grammys Born This Way, you know, she looked a little freaky there. People were like, she's in an egg, she's a weirdo. But ultimately, like, I think that first 2 weeks of press was very like empowerment anthem for your, you know, for this is important for the next generation, before it got into the like Madonna ripoff and all of that. And before this came out, when I think the tone changed about the song, I remember having family friends who were like, oh my gosh, we love this song. Like, this is so important, so powerful. And when this video dropped, they were like, how could she? How could she show this kind of imagery for this kind of song that's about like empowering her young fans? And we're like sitting around the computer, the family computer, and we're like watching. We're like, what are we seeing? Are we seeing her, you know, vagina? Are we like, what are we seeing? Like this, it's too much. It's too graphic. And it's funny because I'm like, bitch, this is high art.
I know. Well, that's funny. That brings up a funny little anecdote that I have about this time. So I was in high school at the time. I went to boarding school, yada, yada, yada. And this was in the era of like, I had like some terrible Android like touchscreen phone, like one of the first ever. And it was all about like customization. This was like back when you could customize like everything about your phone. And I remember I had my wallpaper set as like Gaga and the primordial goo, like in her bra and panty set later in the video. And I remember my Spanish teacher at the time saw that on my phone and literally thought I was looking at porn. And I'm like, I love women, gay as fuck, like not like openly watching sexual content of women on my phone. And
you're like, men on the other hand,
yeah, right. But that's for the dorms. That's after hours. That's not Spanish class. Yeah, no. We had a firewall. It was a whole thing. It was like, oh my god, boarding school, crazy. But yes, this kind of like, it was like, whoa. It's like, oh, empowerment anthem, and then it's like, how could you not be an alien deity birthing clones of your head with like a primordial goo? Like, obviously, that's what we're looking for. But the general public wasn't ready for that kind of visual presentation.
Right. Even though I think what's cool, like when I watched this back, like realizing that Raquel Zimmerman, who's like doing her midwife, let's say.
Yes, yeah.
Her midwife is essentially wearing what Gaga and all the dancers wore at the Grammys. And so I do love this idea of like Gaga and her troupe at the Grammys, they're like the stewards of this deity that we don't see until 2 weeks later in the video. And I really always like loved that connection, and only just now was thinking about it that way when we do think about this old
the world building for this video, obviously, like they shot this video before the Grammy performance, but it like all was connected. Like Gaga finished and like left this set and was like, okay, now let's figure out the Grammys. Like it was all one thing for sure.
Yeah, and I wonder, like, were they shooting the promo photography for Born This Way? Like Nick Knight shot all of that iconic, famous imagery. Was that all like within the same like?
I think so. I mean, we could go back and look, and I'm sure Gaga Pictures has dates on that Born This Way promo shoot, but I feel like it probably was kind of around the same time.
Yeah, especially like her, like, I'm jumping ahead, but like in the lingerie, swinging her Born This Way jacket around. It's just like, that was already there because they were, I don't know, it just feels
and the wigs, it's definitely there. Well, so we talked about like the kind of the beginning, kind of ethereal deity in the sky giving birth. And then as the manifesto progresses, we kind of pan down into the netherworld, and it's kind of this evocative, like, 9 circles of hell situation, Dante's Inferno. I love the use of all the mini Raquel Zimmermans and these like anguish poses and this like red wash until we land on the twisted sister in the sky, Agony and Evil, who is also experiencing birth in these stirrups that are mechanical and metal and kind of shaped like a lightning bolt. And Gaga's in these massive heels with the daggers, the custom Mugler heels that she later wears for Harper's Bazaar. And, you know, she's birthing an assault rifle. And there's like this kind of distorted texture over her. There are these flashes to Rick Janess' Zombie Boy. There's this kind of swirling diamond rhomboid kind of thing that's appearing over her. There are machine guns around her firing off, and each time they shoot a bullet, we hear a church bell, and she's thrashing and she's whipping her hair, and she is the protector of the race without prejudice. And we see the massive bodies on all fours in black and white kind of emerge behind her as we transition into the beginning of the video.
That was beautifully said. Wow, you just like, I'm like, I wouldn't even need to see it to know what was going on. Thank you. I do want to say though, I interpreted this differently. I thought that this woman was the, like, in the manifesto, she's talking about she's splitting in two and she's giving birth to a new race and also to evil. And so I interpreted it as this is the old Gaga Testament goddess giving birth to evil. Like, this is the same woman.
The same person. Okay.
Like, this idea of them being kind of yin and yang.
Okay,
I do
yeah.
love this image where it's like the one who's giving birth to the race without prejudice is kind of scary looking.
Right.
And she's alien. And then you have this diva birthing an assault rifle and she's blowout, glam, sexy. But it does make you think about like lust and greed and all of,
a Hitchcock blonde.
Yeah, vanity, all of those things. Mm-hmm.
The show studio blowout.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. One of my favorite effects during this piece is the cuts to Rick Janess where he's like covered in this piece of like plastic. Or something.
It's technical chiffon by Mugler.
Got it. Okay. It's gorgeous. It's just so gorgeous. It almost looks like it's rendered and not a real image, you know, or like a real person. By the way, rest in peace to Rick Janess, Zombie Boy. His like visual legacy and the way it's linked to Born This Way, the song, the album is really important.
What a beautiful person.
Yeah. Yeah. We'll get into him, I guess.
Yeah, but, we'll get there. Yeah, so this is kind of the beginning of the video and the song. So we're like 3 minutes in and the song hasn't even started yet in classic Gaga fashion. So before we get into the meat of the video, which is the choreography, I pulled up this quote from Laurieann Gibson talking about the video. So Laurieann told MTV, "We took 2 days, and when Gaga was making the album, she wanted to be in New York. This was the place that we started. This was the place that birthed her. This was the place that birthed my dance. New York just had something so real about birthing something so specific. So I took her to Alvin Ailey, where I studied dance, and we rehearsed there because the choreography is really modern-based. It's more technical than anything she's ever done. This was a great moment to engulf her in a real dance world and push her ability choreographically. At first, when I thought about birthing a new race and adding the prosthetics, I thought that maybe we should have a certain way that we should walk, or maybe there's a certain way we move. But then I realized it's actually a race within our race. It's a mindset. So they don't have to walk funny. I just told the story of the record. We birthed ourselves out of the womb. There's lots of pushing and birthing in the video. There's lots of punching through adversity. And then we go to church. So it's very symbolic. It's really based in modern dance. She's doing Martha Graham. She's doing Lester Horton. These are legitimate dance techniques."
Say that.
Yeah, which I think is so real. And obviously, I am like, I've studied Graham and Horton. Like, I'm a dancer. Like, when this video happened, like, I remember me and my dance friends being like, oh my God, Gaga modern dance. And it is so real and so embodied. And I love that Lorianne was like, I am going to take Gaga to New York. We are going to go to the studio where I learned to dance, and we are going to rebirth ourselves.
Yeah.
And I'm going to push you choreographically. And this is the video where I feel like Gaga as a dancer, quote, quote, has always kind of gotten away with like, you know, kind of like a funky, freaky perspective and way of moving. And it's like, no, bitch, she is dancing in this video. And this is the beginning of Gaga as dancer and Gaga as like someone who knows she might not have like the God-given talent of dance, but she is going to work so fucking hard because she respects the people around her that are dancing their fucking hearts out.
Yeah, very well said. I think it's powerful to see her move like this. And as someone who is not studied in dance, and when I was younger and this came out, feeling like, whoa, this is such a fluid version of that kind of freaky pop choreography. And then, of course, becoming more cultured from age. I think I was 13 when this came out, which is crazy. Actually, no, must have been 14. Yeah, just understanding like what that, like the tradition of that movement in relationship to the message is really powerful. And seeing her move this way is powerful. And seeing her do this choreography even now is powerful.
Yeah. Well, I love seeing her do it now because it's like so embodied now.
Yeah. It's just built in. Yeah.
You can see her like fighting to prove herself in the video. She is attacking it. Like she said when she was talking about the song, she's like, it's an assault. It's so defiant. And now when she does it, like when we saw her do Born This Way on tour for the Mayhem Ball.
Yeah.
I think we even talked about it in the episode where it's like, Born This Way was like a call to action and going to church. And then like we saw it recently and it's like cunt house track. Like,
yeah.
Like it's like morphed in what it is.
But still a call to action. It still feels that way. Like, I don't know, it felt really crazy in that stadium environment. We did talk about it. Go listen to that episode. No spoilers.
Yeah.
But yeah, like it is such an important moment. And something that I love about the visual is that, as you said, this like overhead shot of the dancers is kind of like the wallpaper behind evil Gaga. And as it pans down, Gaga is like walking amongst these people. And it's almost like they're hunched over in a way. Is this agony? Is it like, what are they waiting for? And what she walks through and then she gets down on the ground and like levels herself, makes herself equal amongst the dancers. And that's when the song starts.
After she hits a nasty monster paw.
Right. It's only like she gets down and the beat starts. And I think that's it is this idea of like, we're seeing Gaga as deity and then she is grounded. And I don't think they're on Earth, but she's somewhere where she is amongst equals in a way that's important to the message of the song.
Yeah. And I love that even like in the quote, quote, realism of the video, like people being people, there's still kind of like this blur and sheen. Like, you know, it's like even on Earth, they're still majestic.
Yeah. And, you know, there's the prosthetics everyone is wearing, and it's all kind of like desaturated and almost like the tones in this main first dance portion are so like fleshy and like corpsey in an interesting way. It's very muted and like not as colorful as people would expect a pop girl, which we know she's not just a pop girl, but her gay anthem to be. And I love that.
Right. Totally. Yeah, and even in like the colorful moments in this video, they still kind of have this muted, disturbed quality.
Yeah, like something flesh-like.
So I guess this leads us into, you know, she's nailing this choreo. The dancers are on fire. They all have these prosthetics. It's all about body, yaddy, yaddy. It's fleshy. And then we cut to Gaga and Rick Janest, Zombie Boy, in matching Mugler tuxedos. And Gaga has makeup evocative of Zombie Boy's tattoos, and she has a pale pink side pony. And they are mugging against a metal wall.
Yeah. This ponytail changed my life.
Totally.
And they look so good.
And
like,
that
the whole
kind
video
of,
could have been this. It could have been this, and I would be just
I was
as
just
happy.
gonna say, this Gaga as Zombie Boy with the ponytail kind of became a symbol of the era. Like, it was in merch, fans were using it all the time. It's still used to kind of represent this time. It's like a very iconic Gaga image of the Born This Way era. It's like Skull Gaga with the pink hair.
Yeah, it's like that perfect intersection of like, it's like tweeny in a way with the side pony. Tweeny, like, and it's also glam as fuck and otherworldly with the hair. And then it's like death on the face.
Which brings us right back to fucking mayhem.
Yeah, totally. The duality.
So Gaga and Rick Janest serving, eating. You know, Rick is like mean mugging and Gaga is flailing on him, around him, fucking with the camera, acting like him, trying to get a rise out of him. And while this is happening, we keep cutting to Deity in the Sky, which, you know, she's also now playing with the Mugler technical chiffon. It's all over her. We're getting close-ups of her ripped fishnets and this goo and the heads kind of falling out of her as she continues to birth. We get cuts to some of the dancers in Gaga writhing around in a primordial goo created by Bart Hess. Again, it's kind of this like oil slick tar flesh placenta vibes as they kind of writhe in a way that's like, there's like I pulled a quote that kind of spoke to this, and it says, good versus evil dualism is broken down and replaced with something far more complex than a melange of writhing bodies in a quality that might be best described as xeno-maternal pansexuality. Gaga shuns any sanitized and generic portrayal of diversity. Instead, she embraces a sexual energy that's charged with darkness, yet all the more joyous for it. The subdermal tweaks to her face and body, her cheeks and shoulders, physically and symbolically expand not only what is acceptable, but what is desirable. And the point where she exudes maximum sexual charisma isn't in her half-naked dancing, or when she's thrusting crotch first into a mass of flesh. It's when she melds a pink bouffant and a sharp tuxedo and becomes the kinetic skeletal counterpart to Zombie Boy. And that is a quote from Oscar Moralde of Slant Mag.
That is so well said. Wow.
Right, yeah. He really tore with that one.
Yeah. I really love how she's like auditioning for Joe Calderone here.
Literally.
You know what I mean? Like her movements and kind of like, again, it's like the there's something very, very like her trying to be like tough guy. Is very fun. It's fun, and like watching this in retro, like, you know, as a kid I was like, she's so fucking cool, and I'm like, she's still so fucking cool, but watching it back I'm like, she's like 24, 25 here, and she's like, I'm a tough guy, you know, and it's so, she's campy, she's acting, it's drag. I feel like the skeleton look or the zombie boy look is so drag, you know.
Totally.
It's the most drag thing in the video to me. Yeah.
Totally. So I think my favorite scheme in the video, and probably the least talked about, is Gaga in the factory, as some call it. That's what they refer to it in Gagapedia. And it's Gaga in this mirrored room with all of her wax head embryo situation on a shelf. And then her head in the matching wig and makeup, but her full body is under the shelf that her head is in. So she's on the same level as all the heads, but then she's in this like nude bodysuit that has zippers over her vagina and her breasts. And she is fucking going to church. She's wagging her finger. She is given her crazy eyes. I love when they pan down and it's like just her face and she's like looking left and right, like, wait, where am I? Like, she's like one of the heads come alive. And the fucking crazy ass wig. It's the same kind of mini bang, but it has like a little bump and then like a little mini bob, like a little mushroom kind of disconnection.
It's fucked.
It's fucked. Yeah. It's like
And
the bang is so misshapen. It's so if her wig in the dance scene kind of has like a pinky wash, that has this has more of like a bluey grayy wash.
Totally.
Yeah. And she looks insane. But it's my favorite look in the video.
Yes. It's so
and it's
kooky.
The look featured for her NME magazine shoot, which is the controversial shoot where she was like really talking out of her ass and like feeling her rock star fantasy and giving some crazy quotes that she had to like apologize for, which we won't bring up beyond what I just said right now, but you can Google it if Michael Polanski hasn't scrubbed it from the internet.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love how uncanny valley this is, and like it almost feels it toes the line to me between totally sci-fi elegant sci-fi visual treatment and like complete campy, I see a plexiglass shelf with a cutout for your neck and I see the mirrors and I see the light bulbs. Yeah. And that kind of like that like awareness of the process, that peeling back the curtain in a way. I don't know if it's intentional, but I love that it toes the line between like movie magic and something else.
Well, and I love that like the wax replicas of Gaga's face are imperfect, you know, like they each have like a little bit of a different kind of look, and like the dye is a little weird, and it's like, you know, they loaded those into a fucking truck and brought those to the Grammys. Like those are the same heads. They like made them once and then they were used for every performance, and they've been like dinged and beat up and like, but that is the vibe.
Like, and they're all like turned slight, like they're not all facing forward. There's an imperfection here that is beautiful. Yeah, I feel like this was somewhat of a controversial scene as well because people found it disturbing.
Right.
But it's brilliant.
Well, and, you know, we've talked about it before. It's this kind of like pretty ugly thing that Gaga does, where it's like she understands that to some viewers, like this is like the most uncomfortable look in the video. But it's also like really interesting and beautiful.
Yeah. She really just has such an awareness. I mean, even we're going to talk about this so much in this series, and we've talked about it already, but such an awareness of the gaze. That's a Gaze, but also the other gaze. But, you know, really such an awareness of how she may be perceived through her choices. And I love that. I think the control is a negative connotation, but the control over her image and awareness of it. It's so on display in the Born This Way era.
Well, and even in this video, especially in the scenes where, you know, she is the human her or the new race her in the bra and panty set, where it's like, you know, she's doing the modern dance moves that are like removed from any kind of sexuality and sensuality. And then she's doing these like hypersexual, like crotch to the camera, literally touching my vagina, or like emulating and like kind of mocking like a masturbatory at the camera. She's playing with all of these modalities and ideas of how she's being perceived. Like, you think I'm the hypersexual Satanist freak? Great, here I am. Watch me touch myself.
Right. It's such a power move. This video is such a power move coming off. Just thinking, I mean, I'm kind of zooming out a little bit, forgive me, but thinking about this coming off the heels of something like, I don't know, Telephone was her last music video before this, which is this like sugary, sweet, totally product placement, pop art stuff that's also very dark and brilliant. But this is like, there's no, I don't think there's a single thing that like panders to some standardized idea of beauty or sexuality or what it means to be a popular artist or a celebrity. And I think that the kind of sweetness of the song and the message made this video hit even harder as something that people felt, like at my anecdote earlier, felt was like, this is disturbing, this is wrong, this is supposed to be about empowerment.
Right. Well, and
Yeah.
then to reference the quote we talked about at the beginning of the episode when Gaga was talking about writing the song and thinking about the visuals, and she's like, the monsters actually dictated the visual. So it's like this video is an amalgamation and a reflection of what she was seeing her artistry interpreted as by her fans, and reimagining, okay, let me write the history of our people. This new race that I'm birthing. Like, let me create the lore.
And I think that's like the crux of this series too, is like a lot of people talk about, and it's true, that like the essence of Gaga, in terms of like visual culture, we like tie so much back to the Fame monster, and the general public thinks of Fame monster Gaga when they think about her legacy, but I think fans really think about these videos as the origin myth, the origin story of, as you said earlier, of what Gaga is about in a spiritual, theoretical, conceptual sense. And I do feel like this is in the lineage of Bad Romance and Alejandro visually, but it takes it and it turns it up to fucking 12.
Right.
And makes Telephone feel like a fever dream that she had while she was like in limbo between before she birthed a new race or something.
Right,
you know?
Totally. Well, and I do think it's notable that this was only Nick Knight's second music video after Bjork's Pagan Poetry, which is also an incredible visual. Yeah.
This was his second
music video. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Wow. And kind of like the blueprint in a way for like a lot of show studio things to come.
Yeah. And, you know, we're not going to endorse you go out there and look for it, because Mr. Knight himself has said that he's not happy that it's out there. But there is a lot more footage from this video.
There's some alternate takes that Nick Knight did release a deleted scene that, you know, is kind of funny because it is so vastly different from everything that's in the video that I'm like, I think this is like a deleted scene that you put the Rainbow Bright treatment over and then released or whatever. But there is the alternate take. My favorite thing about that like didn't make it to the video is Gaga wears this like void of course leather jacket that had a breastplate on the front, but it has 3 breasts going down her spine on the back. Yeah. And it didn't make the final cut, but it's out there if you look for it.
And my favorite thing about that additional footage is just an extension of the final look that we see Gaga in this video. If you want to take us there, I'm ready.
Yeah, so the video ends with this figure that is kind of walking down a city street, back alley, and in silhouette. And they're in this jacket with a bejeweled glove. That's a tribute to Michael Jackson and The Way You Make Me Feel. And it's revealed that it's Gaga herself, but she's kind of, her face is a little different. She's got the exaggerated prosthetics, but also an exaggerated tooth gap. And she sheds a single tear. And there's this close-up on her face, interspliced with her kind of defiantly doing a little light voguing / nogging, if you will, with her little bejeweled glove. And then she rides off on the unicorn featured earlier in the video.
Yeah.
In the pink triangle.
Into a burning city.
And a rainbow appears above her, and then Zombie Gaga drops in the pink triangle, blowing bubblegum as a tribute to Zombie Boy and the origins of his tattoos, which, as we talked about in an earlier episode, he was really inspired by his childhood memories of bazooka gum, temporary tattoos, and that kind of led him to getting his entire corporal form tattooed head to toe.
Totally. I have so much to say about this. It's the shortest thing in the video.
Please.
I feel like, I just want to talk aesthetically, like seeing Gaga she's in a full denim getup.
Yes.
Some striped denim pants, a denim blouse, and these fringe gloves. So there is this like Americana to it, yet she still has, as you said, the alien Gaga face that we have come to know at this point in the video. The gloves and shoes while she's walking down the alley, it's like they are edited in post to not just sparkle, but to glow in this way,
Yeah.
which I think is a calling out to like the light nogging that she does, but also again to the Michael reference. And I understand the tooth gap to be a nod to early Madonna.
Totally.
And thinking about like the story, like I always thought about it this way, like we're kind of in this vacuum for the entire video. And there's this manifesto that talks about this person who's split into between evil and good, essentially. And I feel like that machine that we just witnessed through dance, through two evil undead lovers, through birthing and goo and this like sensuality that is both soft and also kind of aggressive, is this woman. And this is Lady Gaga. And like those forces spit this person out. And I think the like kind of denim cowboy attire is so fun and fitting because she mounts a unicorn and rides off into the burning city. It's very Metropolis.
Yes.
Where she's going to rescue. She's going out there to rescue, but we know she has both the intentions of creating this unprejudiced race and also perhaps a bit of evil inside as well.
Right.
And I just love what this looks like and represents. Yeah.
And that look is Michael, Madonna, Bruce Springsteen, and David Bowie, like all in one.
Yes, it is. And like that's like such a part of it too, is like born this way as an amalgamation of her influences as an artist and like where she wants to take it. And we have all four of those icons like living in her spirit and her entity in this moment before she goes to ride off and save the world or whatever. And I love thinking about it even like in this meta way, as like they're in this studio all day fucking long in this, you know, green screen space and like doing all of this crazy shit, and they go outside in the alley to shoot this. And there's something very like embodied and earthly about it, where it's like, this is the girl, this is the woman, Lady Gaga. Yeah. And I'm almost like, this is the most her.
Voguing by
like,
the dumpster. Yeah.
I don't know what it is about it. It really speaks to me. And I'd say that if the factory look was your favorite, this is probably my favorite, just because it has always touched me. Yeah.
I know we both really have a fondness for the image of Gaga's face with the single tear.
It's really special.
Yeah, it really is. So yeah, I mean, I remember this video came out and it really shook me to my core. And I feel like it really set us up for, again, a visually rich, fantastical, dense album cycle and a lot of world building.
Yeah. It really feels like a beginning. And I think Gaga has a gift of kicking off a new sort of, I don't even want to say era because it feels like it's reductive because it's bigger than that to me. But a new iteration, let's say, of herself. And at the beginning of an album cycle or whatever it is that she's working on. And here it just feels so clear and distilled in a way that at that point we hadn't seen before. And I would argue even now, we still have not seen something like this moment.
We really haven't. We honestly really haven't. And I feel like there was kind of this assumption from like this point moving forward that every music video was going to be 7, 8, 9, 10 minutes long, you know, and have some kind of like spoken word element and have this larger meaning. She kind of set that precedent for herself with Telephone into this. Like that was kind of what people were expecting.
Alejandro too was super
Alejandro
long.
too, yeah.
And like Alejandro, she worked with Stephen Klein. So like this idea of her like collaborating with fashion.
And Jonas Åkerlund for Telephone. Like, yeah, it was kind of a thing at that point, yeah.
Like a moving editorial. Yeah.
Right.
I feel like sometimes this video gets lost in the sauce of the conversation around Gaga's visual prowess throughout her entire career, because it was followed, and we'll get into them in this series, but it was followed by such amazing future videos as well, and preceded by incredible visual work. I mean, this is the heart of kind of the music video era in culture and for Gaga. And I think that this one gets overlooked a lot. And I don't know why that is, but I just feel like you see less of the like Gaga fan pages posting stills from this. It's an interesting thing. And I wonder, I don't really know or remember what the like fan response was at the time, like in a wider sense.
Which is funny because it's like if I could be dropped into any pocket, like the Gaga universe, I'd want to be dropped into like the dance scene of the Born This Way music video.
Totally. Like and of my own life as a Gaga fan, I would love to be dropped in that like 3-week period where like she was releasing the Born This Way lyrics and releasing the track and performing on the Grammys and then releasing the video. There was like nothing like that feeling.
Yeah.
Because we believed her when she said that it was going to be like the album that changes everything. And then it was. Yeah. So Born This Way as a song and as a visual, and the contrast between what you're hearing and seeing, I think is really, it's expert work. This is like everyone at the top of their game.
Yeah.
Everyone involved.
And like intro of the next class, like you think about like Brandon and Tom and Anna and Tara. It's like they were all working with these other people, but it's like those are the people that Gaga continued to work with.
Totally. Yeah, I think it speaks to a certain kind of punk energy also that Gaga has. Like when I think about the Born This Way videos, and maybe I'll be regretting saying this later as we talk about the future videos. To me, this is the most punk.
Yeah.
It feels transgressive and daring.
It's like, how could modern dance aliens not be punk?
Right. And there's an urgency in the delivery of every lip sync that she's doing, of every look that she's wearing, of every dance move. And that urgency, I think, really resonated with me then, and it still resonates with me. There's something about this video that feels like when you watch it, something changes a little bit in me every time I watch it. And it's like, it really feels like generative. It feels like it's kicking me in the ass.
And I think there is something about the punk spirit too. She is mixing costume jewelry with high fashion, with emerging designers, with Capizio, you know, she's wearing like pieces and then she's wearing like bra and panties.
Absolutely. And it's perfect.
It's perfect.
No notes
at all.
Okay, so let's do a little question segment. What scheme is your favorite in terms of the fashion? Because I know you said the factory, but is that your favorite fashion scene?
I mean, I have like really no notes when it comes to the fashion, but I think so.
Yeah. I love that look. I wish we got more of it in the video, or like more of her moving in it. I think for me, it's probably the evil Gaga with the machine gun. Just feel like I was obsessed with that as a kid. It felt so glam and scary to me, and also like cunty before I knew
I do love
cunty.
A Deity in the Sky look too. I mean, I love all the looks.
Yeah. It's just insane.
What I love about Deity in the Sky is like it's kind of imperfect. She looks disheveled. Like the wig is a little wonk, the necklace is falling off her head, the makeup's a little whack, the chin is a little sus.
There's something that feels like it's falling apart.
Yeah.
And I think that's it's like it's like
the
camp
spirit
and it's punk.
gum is like wearing off.
Yes,
she's like sweating too much. Yeah.
Right. It's like and it like lends itself to the concept too.
Yeah,
I think,
totally.
Which I think is fun. But yeah, I think for me, I think as a younger person, the whole manifesto, and I'll say this now, I'll stand by this now. I think this video is perfect, but I still think it loses steam as it goes on. I think that, there's like the narrative that is presented at the beginning loses steam, and that's okay. But that manifesto and like hearing Gaga's voice say those words, anytime she does any spoken word thing, I really am so moved by it because she means it. And I used to sometimes pull this video up on the family computer and just watch the introduction.
Yeah.
Just to get like a little boost for myself. I'm like, she's speaking to me.
Right.
I am the woman who is torn between good and evil, you know?
Right.
Like going, like opening my locker at school with that like clip like ripped in my headphones. You know what I mean?
Right.
I'm like, what the fuck? Yeah. Yeah. I could go on, but I won't because. So is that it?
I think so.
It feels sad to end an episode about something so important. I'm like,
know.
we'll do part 2 in like 5 years.
We could literally talk forever about this. I know that like some splashy online publication is going to write something about Born This Way because in 15 years, and they're going to talk about this shit that we're talking about right now.
Yeah. It is this thing of like, I don't want to let it go, as if once we cover it on the show, we'll never talk about it again, but God knows.
Well, the funny thing is we're never not talking about Born This Way, the album.
Right. It's like kind of the undercurrent of our entire show.
All roads lead back to 2011.
Totally. People are talking about 2016. I'm like, what about 2011? Girl?
11. Yeah, right.
There. Well, what is the ending?
I don't know.
Do you have something to say to send us off into Judas?
Judas!
Just that.
When it calls on me, I am ready. Her patois. We'll get into that.
I guess a pearl a day keeps the mitosis of the future at bay. You know?
I mean, yeah.
Yeah.
Totally. Honestly, though.
And the thing is, she was talking about the birth of a new race, and I'm like, I'm still here. So I guess the future has not come.
That's not happening.
Because I'm stuck. I'm sorry, my cat is running around like a crazy person.
It's fine.
She just ate, so she's doing laps. She heard me say mitosis of the future. She said, what?
Whoa!
She's like, go. We gotta go.
Oh, yes, it's now.
She's like, get me out of here.
Yeah.
She's like, I live with a gay boy. I just realized.
Yeah.
So,
she's like, shut up. Yeah. Literally.
Yeah. Okay, well, bye, I guess.
Okay, bye.
Bye.
Chewing on